Kash Jackson has been arrested for allegedly doing something to someone somewhere. And if you're caught up in whether he's guilty or innocent, you are just a pawn in their game. Because Kash has been fighting for you and your children, whether you know who Kash is, because he's been fighting the family court system that is built on ignoring constitutional law and bypassing due process to block people from their children, to take their assets, among other atrocities. This war is only a few years old for some of us, and for others, it's 6 or 7 years. And for many people that aren't around but have played the game long enough, they're aware that this has gone on for decades. So there's old footage that you can dig up that's judges and attorneys taking on the system themselves, getting their stripped of their licenses, getting driven into poverty for just pointing out that the entire system is corrupt and needs to be fixed. I don't want to belabor that point. It is important, however, to also point out that many people start this conversation off by saying, well, we had a good system and, over time it became corrupt. I actually don't believe that. And, I haven't been vocal about it till post COVID, but they built this from the ground up to be corrupt. And you can't have 50 states with almost identical family court judicial processes without them cookie cuttering the same thing over and over, state by state by state. And that only happens when you flood the states with money, when you make it profitable for lawyers and judges to have less concern with your rights or your access to your children as they do to how much money is flowing into the system. So, from the ground up, this family court system was set up to abuse you, basically. Take your money, take your kids, and do their best to cover it all up and make sure that the media didn't say a thing. So, of course, the system doesn't like somebody like Kash Jackson, because Kash Jackson gets a lot of media attention. He gets a lot of people to click on his videos and listen to what he has to say. And he has a background that makes him a reputable person to listen to. He is a retired Navy veteran, and he has a very strong resume of showing up to protests and rallies and courtrooms and anything that needs to be addressed where people are not having their rights looked out for. And, in a better conversation some point in the future, we can celebrate him being a hero, but we don't have that time and effort right now. The time and effort is to try to save him at this point. I can turn on my TV and in 10 minutes I can find you at least a dozen instances of how critically important it is to take care of your cats and your dogs. I mean, this is what television has become. Never anything about homelessness, never anything about 22 veterans a day, killing themselves because we've created such an abusive system for them. And so we need to come to our own media to get this word out, to let you know that Kash Jackson is critical as a human being He's critical as a leader to our cause, and he's a critical father to his children, whether the state of Illinois is going to let him near his children or not. People want to focus on whether Kash is innocent or guilty. What you need to understand about that argument is that you are playing into their hand. Kash's right to free speech was threatened within the Lake County, Illinois courtrooms. Kash is threatened to have his children taken away. These things happen behind closed doors. They happen far away from the eye of the media. And that's the point here. That's the point. We have hard times on this now. No, there's very few people that can look around and say everything is all roses and rainbows at this point. And the reason that we're on hard times is because people like Kash Jackson are being taken away and put in prisons. Okay? The U.S. is currently #1 in incarcerations. Every other country on the planet, we're #1. Why is that? Maybe they're silencing some people. Kash, his family, and his friends are extremely appreciative of all the support that he has gotten through the years. But we've come to the juncture where liking and sharing is no longer enough. And I'm not saying this from a financial standpoint. I know people are raising money, and that is an important part of this whole thing. We should easily be able to find a couple thousand people to put $20 in, and we've got his bail covered. That's cool. And I don't want to undermine how important that is. But it's just as important that the 98% of you that are going to see this on social media start getting out of your chairs and doing something. We're beyond liking and sharing. Liking and sharing only gets us so far. We need to speak. Get online, say something. We need you to pick up a phone. We'll give you some suggestions on people to call, but it's not rocket science. Find the senator, find the sheriff, find whoever is in Arkansas that is involved in this case and say, this man needs to be let go. Kash is the type of person who drives by and sees that you have a flat tire and he stops. All right? He's not the person that's going to drive on by. He's the type of person that's going to get out and fix your flat. And the reason that people like Kash are rare is because we've allowed them to become rare. We've allowed them to be dragged away into prisons or silenced or had their children taken or driven into bankruptcy. And we can't let that happen anymore. We need to look out for people that are looking out for us. And Kash is one of those people. Kash has been behind you, whether you know it or not, for almost a decade. It's now our time to get behind Kash. Thank you for his support. Here's a few closing words from a couple of people that I hope you come to respect. Thanks.
Right here in America, they are incentivizing state courts to take our children from us, to reduce us down to visitors. Thousands and thousands of dollars in litigation. I spent $40,000 plus in litigation. And all I want to do is be a father.
Jackson started his journey in Olympia, Washington, and will also stop in cities like Topeka, Chicago, and Indianapolis before ending up in the nation's capital.
guys are wondering why we're out here. Let me tell you who I am, who these people are holding these signs, and why we're here today. My name is Kash Jackson. I am a retired United States Navy veteran of 20 years service. I retired from service on 31 August. On 1 September, I launched a campaign called Restoring Freedom 2016. The purpose of this campaign is to restore constitutional, God-given rights to men and women, mothers and fathers, and to children. Woo! Now go ahead and let them hear it. Woo!
We have come because our eyes have seen through the superficial glory and glitter of our society and observed the coming of judgment. Yes, the hour is dark. Evil comes forth in the guise of good. It is a time of double talk when men in high places have a high blood pressure of deceptive rhetoric and an anemia of concrete performance. Our only hope today lies in our ability to recapture the revolutionary spirit and go out into a sometimes hostile world. We shall boldly challenge the status quo and unjust mores. Somewhere we must see that justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And on some positions, it is necessary for the moral individual to take a stand that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must do it because it is right. And we say to our nation tonight, we say to our government, we even say to our FBI, we will not be harassed. We will not make a butchery of our conscience. We will not be intimidated, and we will be heard.